1010 Living is a podcast about movement, mindset, and mastery, delving into the world of dance and life experiences to provide you with the tools you can use to live a 10 out of 10 lifestyle. If you dig it, don't forget to follow us. Much love and appreciation. Enjoy the podcast.
1010 performers wish to acknowledge the only custodians of this land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and their elders past and present. We acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and the contribution they make to the life of this city and this region.
What's going on, y'all? 1010 Living here. Ian, we got the OG Pepito in the house. Yes, we're gonna get straight into it. You good, bro?
Very good.
All right.
Very excited.
Right. Yeah. Me and this cat, like, we always speak at events, whether it be hip-hop old-style events or just events around Perth, and, like, we always have really, really in-depth conversations. And he's a wealth of knowledge and experience, and just on the tip of, like, hip-hop culture, like, we vibe on that. So he's here to give y'all gems. So make sure y'all tune in. If you don't know who Pepito is, he is about to introduce himself. So here we go. Let's go.
Alright, is this recording?
It's recording now.
Okay, peace
Yeah.
everybody. My name is Pepito. I'm a hip hopper of over 25 years. My main element in hip hop culture is breaking, but I originally started with writing. So with graffiti, as they kind of know it in the commercial circles, but I started as a writer in 97. A hip hopper probably, I don't know, I kind of count it as when I started first listening to rap music, which came from my older brother. He was listening to a lot of NWA,
Yes.
Naughty by Nature. This is when
Yeah.
kind of rap became mainstream. And so I would say probably 91, 92, I started skateboarding. So
Yeah.
I was already seeing and being introduced to the sound and the look. There's an interesting crossover between, hip hop culture and skateboarding, especially
Yeah.
the music and the fashion.
Yeah, for
had
sure.
a big impact on skateboarding. So basically that's it. I've been based in Perth for almost 10 years now. Lived in Europe, in Asia also, and taught in many countries all over the world, judged, competed, battled the best, battled the worst, battled the beginners, and I continue to do it. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited to talk a little bit about that and everything in between.
Yeah, sick. Thank you for that dope intro, man. So, like, what made you fall in love with breaking?
So breaking. Okay, so I used to have, it's a little bit of a long story, but I used to have, in grade 6, I used to have another student in my classroom who's from El Salvador. I'm originally from Argentina, so we had a little bit of a connection there.
Yeah.
And his older brother was already into hip hop. And his brother was way older. He was already in his 20s, and we were, 12, probably 11, 12, grade 6.
Yeah.
So I remember him bringing a Hype magazine. And Hype magazine is from Queensland, from the Twins. So
Yeah.
C's and Exit, the two B-Boy All-Stars.
Yeah.
And I remember he was already into the graffiti thing, and I saw it and I asked him if I could look at the magazine, and he showed me, and he saw all the trains and the panels and everything else, and it was just crazy, so
Right.
long story short, another friend of mine in high school, by the time I got to high school, he was already collecting records and DJing. A guy called Jez Rock, who's part of Fresh Sox, and I used to go over to his house, and we used to just listen to rap music. We used to go to Obese Records in Paran, and I bought a bootleg copy of Star Wars because
Star Wars.
Style Wars.
Oh, Style Wars. Yes.
Which is the main documentary about writing.
Right.
And in that, there's a little section where they showcase the Rocksteady crew and they explain the rest of the elements of hip hop. And I just saw breaking. And when I moved to Australia, you know, break dancing was huge. And I remember in grade 2 for this kind of concert, I did some footwork in this kind of rap,
Yeah.
you know, thing that we did for our class.
Yeah.
And it all started coming back to me. But, you know, breakdancing was huge when I moved to Australia in 1986. And then it kind of resurfaced in the 90s. And when I saw, it was Crazy Legs, Ken Swift, Frosty Freeze, Doze, and they were showing, you know, they were at what they call Rocksteady Park. And I just remember them in their Lee jeans and the Pro Kids and, you know, the trucker caps. And I just thought, whoa, I need to learn this, you know. I need to really learn what this is, because it just kind of diverted parts from the writing, but it was all the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally different scenes, but at that time in Melbourne, it was the resurgence of it, you know, 96, 97. I started in 99. They used to have jams on the street at the State Library in Melbourne.
Yeah, they still have jams there. I'm pretty sure.
Not like before, where, you know, Peril would, you know, bring his congas and he would have, you know, the turntables hooked up into the light post. You know,
Yeah.
like real official hip hop stuff, where you would go there and you would meet people, and then afterwards, you know, you would go and paint some graffiti afterwards. You know, when it got late, it was like breaking, and then we would go and paint under, you know, an underpass or on the train tracks or whatever else it was. That's how rich it was at that time in the 90s. But breaking, it was just, the movement and everything. And a big part of it, I think, as well, was just to see Latinos too, because being in Australia, where there are not many Latinos, a lot of Latinos are not from where my family's from. They're more from like the Central America and stuff. It just made sense to me, you know, to see people that look like me and
doing that thing,
and for them to represent in hip hop was, you know, because when I was listening to rap, it's mainly African Americans. You know? So it was, I still, you know, love rap. I know it doesn't matter any of that stuff, but when you kind of see someone like you, it's different, you know. Even the MCs, I would lean more towards, you know, Kid Frost, like Shannon Brown, more of the Latin rappers, you know, Frankie Cutlass, who else, like Fat Joe, all the Puerto Rican guys, I would lean more towards that because it made more sense to me, you know.
Damn. And what's kept you in breaking? Like the main, this is a really loaded question, but like the main, I guess I'll just say elements that you've learned from being a b-boy.
In terms of like life skills or life skills, things that I can
let's break that up into two segments. So let's say life skills first, and then we'll like venture into like battle etiquette and what the battle actually is. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the main thing that I always say, that I never separate breaking from hip hop. I never do that. I never say breaking culture or breaking this or battle culture. This kind of talk that's happening is really prominent right now.
It's been for a while, for sure.
Many years, but now because it's just gone really, really mainstream, really monetized, people take it as a dance. We were talking about this before we came on, and you know, we started doing this. But I never separate that. My evolution, and everyone's evolution is different, but my evolution, which is super important, was I always had an interest in music. The music led me into certain styles of music. black music, Caribbean music, Latin American music that tends to lend itself and became that melting pot, which was rap and soul and R&B and all the genres, you know, let's say black music genres. So my evolution was music lover first, hip hop a second, writer, then b-boy, you know? So there was a whole way of thinking and a whole approach that I had to learn in order to become part of this movement, you know? Like, back then you can't just talk to someone, you know? You would have to find out, and they would have to kind of involve you in the conversation, or someone would, it's almost like that scene I was watching the other day, like the Donnie Brasco scene, you know, when Al Pacino, you know, introduces Johnny Depp to the mafia, his family. And he says to him, you know, I'm going to introduce you in this way. You're not going to say it. And, you know, Johnny Depp says, how should I talk about you? He's like, you just shut the fuck up about me. You don't say a word.
Don't say shit.
And that's culture. That's etiquette, you know?
Ooh.
So
that's one right there.
So there's a certain way and a passage that you go through in order to involve yourself, and now they're kind of separating everything to take what they want out of it and what sells and what doesn't, and they already did it with rap, you know, decades ago. They already did it with DJing, you know. The whole street art thing is being done with writing, you know, that we only want pretty pictures, we don't want letters, we don't want scribble, because it sells, you know. So I think just in terms of life skills, that type of thing, learning how to speak to your elders, knowing how to behave on the street, how you behave in an institution, being flexible enough and being able to freestyle and just observe and just shut up, you know. You don't know that environment, that's cool. You don't have to feel insecure about it. You don't have to feel anything. You have to stand there and just observe. When someone involves you, you're ready to rock, you know. You're ready to go. There's nothing wrong with just observing. I mean, for the first 2-3 years of breaking, I didn't even know what I was doing, and I was just so embarrassed to dance that I would just watch all the time. And then from watching, but now I think it's like people don't even take their time to watch.
No, they don't.
And then they go to these competitions, and then they get jealous and bitter and whatever for the result. And then they don't even want to watch someone else. Like, that's kind of selfish. I always wanted to watch my heroes. That's what I went there for.
For sure.
You know, when I first watched Air Force Crew in 2000, they did an Australia World tour. I just watched. There was no way I was going to be breaking. I wanted to watch them break. I want to feel what that is about. I want to know what that's about. It's important to have those people above you, you know. Those people that you feel that are just untouchable. So in terms of skills, for sure, all those skills are very important. You know, being adaptable, staying in your lane, just shutting up when you need to shut up and just listen. But also asserting yourself and letting people know that you are somebody. You know, that's the confidence and
that's the hunger I feel like is lacking in the scene. In a lot of scenes, in my opinion.
Well, because everything's done for you.
Yes.
Okay?
100%.
Register. Put your name here. Pay this much. Top 16, 15 minutes. 30 minutes, we're going to this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So where is it that you're being spontaneous and actual critical thinking and being assertive and going, you know what? I want to go there today and I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to create this. That's part of being an artist. That's part of being a human. Okay, I want to get up at 12. Okay, I want to get up earlier. Okay, I want to study. Okay, I want to... Some sort of decision making. And now it's just cookie cutter, monetized. The system is just...
shit.
No, because there's no freestyle, and people
Yo.
complain that it's not raw, but they're the ones selling out and giving all of the fruits and all of the labor and all the jewels and all the gems and all the hard work,
Yeah.
so they can rock a little sports brand on their shirt. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't care for any of that. You do what you want to do,
Yeah.
but don't complain to me
Right.
afterwards that it's not raw
Yeah.
and that no one battles in circles just because you don't have your ear to the street. Because
Mm.
there's that shit is always going to be happening.
Yeah.
It's whether you take the time to study and ask questions. Do you know what I mean? That's someone being inquisitive. And the
Mhm.
other skill it gave me, and maybe I already had it in me, was to always be curious for things.
Yeah.
To always know how to ask things.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah, for
when,
sure.
where, how, why. Okay, 5 ways of asking questions. And then being critical about it. Okay, was this person full of shit? Or do I agree with some of it?
Yeah.
And if I don't agree with it, that's fine. I don't have to.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Risk taking. Okay, let's go down there, spend my money. That person might not be there. It might not work out how I want to. But there's no risk taking either. You know?
Yeah.
You try and box hip hop, it's like a wild animal, you know?
Yeah.
It's a wild animal that's just snowballing and is just feral, you know?
Yeah.
Try and box it in, give it a haircut, you know, domesticate it. There's no life in it anymore,
Mm.
you know? Like, take the most sellable thing out of it, and then you're neglecting all of the rest of the things. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're saying there's no call outs, there's no this. Okay, so you're told what time to be there. Nothing spontaneous.
Mm.
You can't just turn up when you want.
Mm.
That's already some freedom lost.
Mm.
Judges, okay, you can't have your own opinion about how you felt, how you did. You're giving all of your power to 3 people that maybe you don't even respect.
Yeah.
But because they're going to make the decision on whether you win $1,000, you're
Mm.
just going to play to that.
Mm.
So you've already lost artistic control because you're already modifying what you're actually thinking, what you want to do, because you're so obsessed with the bag and the sponsorship,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's not even go into fashion because most people don't even care about what they're wearing.
No.
There's no intention to go, I'm going to look fly. I got no money, but I'm going to clean it all up. I'm going to have this color with this color. I think this accentuates. I'm going to have my name on my shirt or my crew name or
What else?
something
Yeah.
to represent
Right.
what I'm about.
Mm.
That's advertising 101. I mean, if
That's
you look
branding,
at
right?
exactly, if you look at trams and public transport now, they all bit off graffiti. You know, they have these huge adverts on the side of the panels, on top of the windows. How riders go all
True.
over the windows.
True that.
You know,
Yeah.
but now they've got scan this code and get this
Yeah.
free or ba 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 ba. You know, they hijacked all of these groundbreaking ideas that came
yeah.
out because people had nothing and they just had to make something. That's hip hop, you know.
Mm.
That's what it is.
Damn.
So I think life skills I covered.
You fucking definitely covered that.
Yeah.
But okay, so we'll put the battle thing to the side. So like talking about events and stuff like that. So what we're doing with 1010 is providing opportunities for people to experience, not, I wouldn't say like in the way that you put it, like yeah, okay, we're taking a little bit of their, I guess, time freedom away because we're selective with and disciplined with our time. And I think that I don't know, I feel like even at crump events and like all style events and shit, people will rock up late.
Yeah.
And it's a very hip hop thing to do
Yeah.
because it's like, yeah, bro, it's a street. You can't tell me when to do this, that, and the other, right?
Yeah,
But
but
then
you
there's
know, but you know what? Like, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
but
you're good.
I don't think that is even a street thing because I'd say 99% of the people now that are involved in this.
Yeah,
I don't know about crumping. I see that it's raw. I see that people. I can see
yeah,
that people are probably very inclined to the streets.
yeah,
But I don't think that's that's a lack of like respect, you know, a lack of communication and social skills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
Because that's a skill in itself. Being
Yes.
on time, being prompt,
being punctual,
being ready,
yeah, 100%.
being punctual. I don't think that's everybody. If I was to say everybody, because this, like you said, this is an ongoing thing that
Yeah.
always happens.
Yeah,
Everyone that did that shit for years and years never got anywhere. But the people who were,
very true.
people who were punctual by nature, or I don't know, like were just so enthusiastic. Because I used to get there early all the time,
Yeah,
just because
yeah,
I wanted
100%.
to feel what it was. I couldn't wait all month,
Right.
all 6 months. You know, we never had so many back-to-back events,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing: the oversaturation.
Mm,
The
that is
oversaturation
another
of-
thing.
In Perth, we don't have that problem because there's not much going on, which is an advantage. But if you look at Sydney, you look at Sydney and Melbourne and everywhere else, big cities, they're over it. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, so and so's coming here, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, whatever. And then they don't end up learning or taking any advantage
Right.
of any opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
Go on, sorry.
So yeah, we're creating that space, like that opportunity for them to basically like understand what calling people out is, because I feel like a lot of people don't like. It's weird. I feel like in today's society, everyone just feels unsafe to express themselves, right? Because they're afraid of, I don't know, fucking social media and all that kind of shit. People just like pointing fingers and stuff like that. So we give people the safe space to still do that and feel like they're not going to be like judged or whatever. But it's like, how can we, what's your opinion on like, how can I ask this question? Is there a way to actually reincorporate that? Because we believe that we're doing it in our way, but like, respect is such a big thing, right? And it's like, why are you not just at the session on time or at the cypher on time, bro?
Yeah.
Like using all of that. Let's even say if it's just an hour, go hard for an hour, but people can't even do that. So like, how do you think that we can help people do that, especially the people that are in classes? Because like, classes are one thing, but sessions, ciphers are a completely different story. You can go to classes for the rest of your life, but until you hit a session, you're not, in my opinion, you're not actually respecting the culture at all. Not being on time, not showing up and giving everything. Yeah.
Of course, it's doable. It's culture,
Right.
and culture is practice, and it's cultivated.
Yes.
So, at home, you have your culture. I
Yeah.
have my culture. You have your language. You have your dances. You
Yeah.
have your dress attire for
Yeah.
certain occasions. This is the same thing.
Mm.
The difference is that some people, and this is especially for a lot of the time period that we're in now, everything is instant.
Yes.
So people
Yeah.
want to have their cake and eat it too, and it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
If this is really you're really serious about this, then you're not thinking, okay, this is just this weekend or whatever. I'm thinking in decades.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
originally I didn't. It was just a spontaneous thing now, but now that I've been doing it almost 30 years, I'm thinking in decades. What do I want to achieve in the next decade?
Mm.
What am I going to be doing at 50? What am I going to do at 60? Do I want to be dancing at 60 plus?
Right.
Sure. You got to understand that, and I had to understand this, and I'll draw this to myself,
Yeah.
is that not everyone feels the way we feel about it, you know?
Yeah.
Even how
For
you
sure.
feel about it and
It'll be
how I
different.
feel about it is totally different.
Yeah. There's
And
similar.
I-
There's similarities, but I would say it's still gonna be.
And
different.
you're in another decade than I
yes,
am in.
different.
You know what I
gen-
mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So, and not even because that's the right way. This is no. It's just because it's all got to do with an accumulation of things. Your
Correct.
ethnicity,
Yeah.
your environment,
Yeah.
your knowledge, your the level of understanding, the level of dedication, the level of sacrifice. I think the main thing is sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice not having children? Are you willing to sacrifice not having a nice car? Are you willing to sacrifice not having a nice house? Are you willing to sacrifice blowing all your money on a trip and then coming back broke and then, you know, being stuck for 6 months? Are you willing to do all those things? Are you willing to sleep on a floor? Are you willing, you know, and are you willing to be stuck at an airport for 3 days? You know, that happened to me in 2019. I was stuck in the Middle East for 3 days, but I didn't care because I went to Russia and did my thing. I always wanted to go to Russia. It takes a special type of person, and I always think now more than ever, I think to be good at anything, you have to normal people. It's gonna look like you got a few screws loose, you know.
Yeah.
Because you do have to
For
be.
sure.
There has to be an imbalance there somewhere, you know. When most people try and balance all that stuff out, finances, this, that, whatever.
Yeah.
Lucky thing about us is that we're involved in something, hip hop culture, that gives us dance, it gives us language, it gives us an individual identity, and that's powerful. And we survive in the system, but we create our own system. So what you're talking about is creating your own community, your own system. But all that stuff takes time because people,
for sure.
some people will only have 3 months in them. Some people will only have 10 years.
Yeah.
Some people will make it for 20 years and then they were hot for 1 minute and then they try and come back later and they realize it's not the same anymore. They just don't have the energy and the time to do it.
Yeah.
Especially like somewhere like Perth, where it's a very family-oriented place, a very conservative city, where people are trying to raise children and they're very tied to their parents' culture, you know? For me, it was easy because my parents are from 2 separate countries and we're already a mixed bag, you know? I was already born in Argentina, my mom's from Uruguay, Paraguay, my mom's European, my father is part European, part indigenous from South America. So it was all a melting pot. We came here, so hip-hop was the perfect thing for me because it was a melting pot. I never fitted into Aussie rules football, even though I played it. I tried athletics, I was too small, you know.
Right.
Skateboarding, I didn't want to get hurt. But when I found breaking and hip-hop and I was already inclined visually and artistically and physically for dynamic and small and rhythm and dance, it was just like, fuck everything else, I'm going to do this. But in winding it back, like, you can teach that, but the expectation can't be there for your students. You know? I've got one student in the last 10 years who's still with me. You know? And it's still, I don't know where he's gonna go. Does he call people out? No. Sometimes you gotta realize that you are an anomaly. You're only one. And that's just the way it's gonna be. People are gonna follow you, and as much as you wanna lift them, they can never be you. Because you're just wired that way, you know? You love it more than they do.
Yeah, for sure.
You put more into it. You put more of that cash into it, you know?
I put too much of that shit into it.
Dude, that's part of the game.
It is.
People never want to talk about that.
No,
that's why we're in the mess that we're in now. People want everything paid. I want my trip paid. I want free shoes. I want free things. And they'll do any sucker shit for it. They'll do any sucker stuff. You know, the MCs are now complaining about it. How trap took over and drill's there and because you guys left it. You guys stopped making music, or you either tried to ride that wave, and that's never what you do with this shit. You stick to your guns. No matter what, no matter whether people think you're played out, whether people think you're washed out, people think you're old, the cycle will come back and it will come back. And this is not a popularity contest.
Yeah.
This is a lifestyle and something that is enriching and valuable and enjoyable for your life. Something that you can hand down to your kids. Something that is going to give them some sort of perspective and some sort of grounding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the power of it.
Right.
We can never really judge why that person's coming to the class, you know, why they come in, why they're late to the session, why everyone's got their own shit going on, you know, and I respect that, whatever. But the only thing I don't say is just don't complain to me if you're not at the level that you want to be, because this is how it is. You know? Come to this workshop, come to this, come to that. It's $120.
There you go.
But
I'll buy those Jordans though.
Exactly. I got a wedding. I got to do this. Yeah, when it hurts the pocket, then you really see who's real, you know?
Yeah.
Then you really see who wants the name, wants the reputation, wants to put the work in. Because this really is a thankless endeavor. You know, this is an internal journey that we go through.
Yeah. I was just about to say, it's like more of it's just self-fulfilling.
Yes.
That's what it is. And
then you fill your cup, and then you give it to somebody else.
Yes.
And you give it out of the kindness of your heart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not because you're going to post about it, and you're going to do this about it,
yeah.
and you're going to start this thing.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit, man. That shit never lasts. What lasts is the love you have for something, and something that makes you happy and fulfills you.
Right.
You know? That's a secret to longevity, is just enjoying.
Yeah,
coming back full circle and remembering why you started this thing.
Yeah.
Why it was so much fun.
Yeah.
That's what keeps you going. The admiration you have for other people that have been in it and keep going.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not all about us all the time. You know?
Can you expand on that? Like when you say us, what do you mean by that? Like when people like showboat, basically, or like post nonsensically and just be like, "Hey, look at me." Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Like, we're in a really self-absorbed kind of era, you know, and I think it's probably going to be coming to an end. You know, in the next couple of years. Maybe it won't, maybe it'll get worse. I don't know, but I just don't see how it can just keep going like this.
Yeah.
Because there has to be some sort of awakening, you know? Some sort of perspective and some sort of sit down for you. You know, we had it in 2020 where people had to sit down and kind of deal with themselves.
Yeah.
I think the phone and posting and all this type of stuff is just giving everyone... it gives you a false sense of yourself.
Yes.
You know,
and others.
Self-importance.
And others too.
Yeah. It's really sad what happens on there because it's not about showboating, because showboating and showing off is part of hip hop culture. That's
true.
Showing out, that's part of it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the celebration of individuality and what
Who
you've
you
achieved.
become.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when it's kind of cultivated and it's not natural, and it's blown out of proportion, and every post that you put on there is you with your Lamborghini, you've hired it, you know, or I'm doing this weekend and they paid me for this and you're broke, and be more honest to probably say, okay, well, I'm this weekend, but this was really tough, you know.
Yeah.
I got stuck here, or they didn't pay me in the end, or I didn't get my prize money. That would do the next generation way more favors, so then they know what they're getting into.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you, like you said before, like if you don't have someone older than you to tell you this stuff, and to be honest with you, and not give you a kind of hologram perfection way of them, exactly, because that's all it really is, you know. It's kind of like this AI projection of yourself. And hip hop does have that too, because we are playing our characters. When you crump and you're going off in a circle, you're doing a judge's showcase, when you're teaching your hood, right?
Yeah.
But your EN too.
Yeah.
I'm Pepito in the circle, in my hip hop life, but I'm also Carlos where I need to,
Right.
and that's a healthy thing.
Yeah.
But you're always living on that phone. That's dangerous, you know.
Mm.
No wonder people are depressed.
Yeah.
Like
that's
your
true.
life doesn't parallel all those great moments, or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you might have millions of followers, but then you're not shit in real life, or you see that people don't treat you with respect, because I think it's an even playing field now, you know, in terms of there was only one Marlon Brando, you know what I mean? There was only one David Bowie.
Yeah.
Now there can be many of those, but that means the it's kind of easy, exactly, so it kind of gets watered down. Do you know what I mean? Everything's becoming a highlight reel, and it doesn't match reality, because that little moment that is getting played in a short and a short and a short and a short and getting so much traction, you probably missed it when you were at the event, or you heard it and you were like, oh, okay.
No.
So you don't get any replays. So I wonder sometimes if people who do, you know, young people coming in who do go on the phone a lot, whether they look at stuff. Because I remember going to sporting events and watching it on TV when I was young,
Yeah.
and then going to it in real life and waiting for the replay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work like that. Like you saw it, you felt it.
Yeah.
There's no replay here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's weird. It's like, and that's even more stretched now, because if you live on shorts and you realize that things don't last 10, 15 seconds, how is that going to work out for your life? You know,
Yeah.
you're going to have to hold a conversation. You're going to have to listen.
Yeah.
You're going to have to show respect to someone you don't like.
Yeah.
You're going to have to apply for that bum job you don't want. You know what I mean?
Mm.
There's no resilience there. It's all like, you know.
Yeah. I think that's one major thing that hip hop taught me is resilience, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and I think like in my experience seeing people come and go from the culture, like I get that the sacrifice aspect of it's hard. And obviously in my brain I'm like, man, why the fuck don't you love this as much as I do? Because this is the fucking dopest shit that you're ever going to get. Just on a personal level for yourself, you know? You're not living for anything else. You're expressing yourself in like the illest fucking way that you can ever.
Yeah.
Like, what is actually better than that?
Yeah.
You know? And then obviously being able to share that with people that want to come in and be like, yo, I want to fucking move, like, I want to find my own steez in that. And I think, yeah, a lot of people are just scared about, like, and going back to what you were talking about, like social media, it's like everything's so fast now. People aren't willing to grind for, let alone like a year in a style, bro, to fully understand it. And then you have people teaching it already, and they've only been in it for like 2 years, 3 years, and it's like, what do you actually, like, where are your accolades at, man? You know?
But in saying that, 2 years in, I was already teaching.
Bro, and in me saying that too,
Yeah.
like, I actually
Yeah.
had the, like, I always say this as well, like, I found myself teaching when I was 16. I didn't know jack shit. So it's like, but if I had, in hindsight, if I had someone above me, I would be like, yeah, go to that guy. Not me. I'm still fucking learning.
But not really. Like, why should they go to someone else? You have something to give.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
I have something to give. They have something
So
to
how
give.
do you distinguish the difference? Because like for me, I feel like there's certain people that shouldn't be teaching.
Teaching is, to me, teaching is, the way I think about things is, you get what you give, right?
Yeah.
So if you give out real quality stuff, sometimes you give quality stuff and they just don't understand it. It's not for them. You know, there's a mismatch there.
Yeah, for sure.
Some classes or workshops that I've done, it goes over their heads. Because your level of knowledge and their level of knowledge just just
like
does
that
not
awareness,
match.
it doesn't match.
You know, it doesn't match. The level of understanding doesn't match.
Right.
The level of vibration is not the same.
Yeah.
The goals and everything else just does not match. So when I get students and they're involved, they were the ones that were given to me by whatever you want to call it. That's just the way it is. You know, it's almost like they say, you know, your partner reflects you.
Yeah.
So if you don't like your partner, well, that's probably saying a lot about yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and that's why you go through stages of your life and you're with a person, and then it was the best thing, and then it stops, you know. And this is the same sort of thing. Like, teaching and this type of thing is hard because we're teaching something that you have a teacher for. It's not necessarily taught in the classroom, and we're trying to make it professional and put it in the classroom. But the way that we build with each other is you got to spend time with the master, you know?
Yeah.
And you got to build with the person.
Yeah.
Because my greatest teachers, I never danced with them. It was conversations like this, and I would just listen, you know? They would talk, and there was no breaking. There was nothing. It was more of the philosophy.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It's philosophy. This is all about philosophy. It's the way that you navigate. You learn all of the basic stuff, how this is done, how we speak, how we listen to things, how we dress. And then you take it and you bring it into you. You bring your own, you fill your vessel, and then boom, you start converting it. And with time, it evolves and evolves and evolves. So people, like you said, people that are just in it for a year, they used to really bother me when I was younger, when I started. But now they don't, because if I don't see you in 20 years, I don't care. It just wasn't for you. You know? And a lot of those people that are in it for a minute, they'll cause the biggest cyclone, the biggest stir, you know, the biggest fuss. But then you think back to a lot of people like that, and I just think, I don't even remember that person. Oh yeah, that person, what happened to them? They were hot for a minute and this and that and whatever.
Yeah.
But they're not here now.
Yeah.
So I always say, this is a lifelong journey, you know? This is not something you just piff in the bin when it doesn't suit you.
Yeah.
This is something that you carry with you. It's a spiritual journey that you carry with you, and it helps you evolve, you know?
Yeah.
And it helps you reach another level of awareness, consciousness, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I always say, first 10 years, that's learner, you know?
Yeah.
Second, probation, P plates. Okay, third, 25 years and up, you're going into mastery.
Yeah.
30 years plus, tell me who's been doing it more than 30 years.
Yeah.
That's a master already.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you ask any of these people in that category, and they'll tell you they don't know shit.
Yeah.
They don't know anything.
Yeah.
They feel like a beginner. I feel like that too. I'm like,
same.
I don't know anything. All I know is that I'm very excited to learn more things. That's when you're gonna go forever.
Yeah.
Until you can't even do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So all of that exciting stuff, once the noise and the dust settles, then you find out who's really got the endurance and the stamina to put up with this shit, you know? To put up with all the hardships, all of the sacrifice, all of that. This is what this lifestyle is about, you know?
What do you learn from the new generation now?
From the new generation, there's lots of stuff that you can learn from younger people. I mean, energy, enthusiasm, willingness to learn, like willingness to just go and just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're all
for sure.
positive things. So we have to
Good
align
attributes,
ourselves
for sure.
to younger people. You know, I mean, when I teach younger kids, it's amazing.
Yeah. But
This-
what if I'm speaking on like the technical, like dance terms, not life stuff, but like dance stuff, do you feel like you learn from them as well?
Not really, and not because it's not a good standard or
Yeah.
whatever else.
Yeah.
I'm already involved in my thing. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm involved in my thing, and I worked very hard to get to where I am now.
Yeah.
So it's not that I discard them or not encourage younger people. Of course, that's your job. As you come up
For
and
sure.
you get your name, then you have to give it all back.
Yeah. But it's
But
like
I'm
they
involved
still have
in
to-
my thing.
Yeah.
And if you want to be creative and you want to develop a style, you want to develop an identity,
Mm.
you want to create something authentic, one, you got to be alone.
Mm.
That's one of the most important things. Is have some time to be introspective, and then have some time away to be able to have some perspective. You also need patience, and you need to be kind with yourself. Know that it's okay.
That
it was
part.
just this.
Yeah.
It's just that.
Yeah.
You know. So, technically, do I learn? No, because I
You've
already
been-
have my thing, and
For
I'm
sure.
developing my technique and my things.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like we said before,
Yeah.
that people run into problems. They chuck all their stuff into the bin and go, "Oh, the new shit's out. I'm gonna wear my hair like the young guys."
Yeah.
They try and be relevant, and it always looks terrible.
Mm.
You know?
Mm.
Where you should have just stayed in your lane. People respect you for that.
Yeah.
I think it's when people try to be relevant, and I think there's nothing wrong with recreating yourself
Yeah.
and evolving, but that happens naturally anyways.
Yeah. I
You
think
know?
it can't be like a forced thing,
No.
and it can't be for the wrong reasons per se.
Yeah.
And I think you'll know if it is. It'll feel weird in your body, for example.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it just won't click for you because young
Yes.
people have a different energy than, you know,
Yeah.
every other generation. Every generation
Right.
that's coming has
It has
another,
different-
and they have more advantages than we do,
Yeah.
you know, and they have different ways. What I find with younger people now is they're really accepting and really respectful, you know.
Mm.
It's not
Yeah,
so
for sure.
hard-assed. Although
Yeah.
that, I think, having a disciplined and a, you know, having a level of respect and knowing what the boundaries are is very important.
Yeah, definitely.
So sometimes now it can all be loose, and I can contact this person and I can say this,
Yeah.
and I can.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't. And then don't be gobsmacked when they tell you that that's not how to behave, or they ignore your ass, or they block your ass
Mm.
because they don't want to deal with that online, you know,
Yeah.
that online persona that you're trying to bring out into the real world. It doesn't work like
I
that.
think that's something that also like that I see at All Styles, like when I'm there, like you were saying before, like when I'm battling, I'm hood. I'm not Ian anymore. At an event, I'm hood, bro. Like I'll dap you and everything, but it's like I will talk shit to you. I will like you ain't got a chance. So and then what I've experienced is like a lot of people don't know how to take that. They don't know how to receive that. And then I've been like pinned as like the bad guy because of whether it be what I said or like Crump being aggressive in nature, powerful in nature. It's like, yeah, that was too much. I didn't know what he was doing or whatever the case was. It's like, I think that's such an important part of the culture though. Like even in hip hop, in its own way, right? Crump might be a little bit different, but there's so many elements that we took from you guys.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Crump, I think Crump is, you know, I've talked to you about this before, and I talked to Nadia about this as well. Like, it's the last one, you know, it's the last one that's untouched. It's like unstained. Like there's ciphers and you have your heroes and
Yeah.
the sponsorship and the system.
Yeah.
It hasn't been matrixed out, you know.
No, not yet.
And it
Definitely
still has
not.
that
It's still
raw
so young
feeling.
as well.
That's what I'm saying. So I always, when I watch crumping, I appreciate it because it's totally hip hop. If you talk about street dance, well, you've got breaking and you've got crumping.
Yeah.
I've seen poppers dance on the street too, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But a lot of dance styles are from the club, you know.
Yes.
But if we're talking about real raw going off, that's the
Concrete.
parallels. Yeah, concrete. Even the way you guys dress, like
Yeah.
there's still that pride in dressing.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you try and come correct. There's that energy. It all kind of has that energy. Sure, there's technique. Sure, there's evolution of movement and all that. But there's still the rawness is still the main thing.
Yeah.
I remember people talking. I remember Mr. Wiggles talking about this, saying that in popping there's no more call-outs. There's no more hard-out ciphers. Yeah, sure, because the competition has annihilated everything.
Yeah.
It stopped that thing. So
That's something that I said, like, he was just like, battling basically destroyed the session. And it kind of continues to. And like, what we see is like all these new people are rushing to battle. But it's like, bro, you don't even know how to session yet, let alone battle in a session environment. Why are you going to compete and do 2 45-second rounds to see if you
I'll tell you why. It's called security.
Ooh.
It's called security. It's called a security blanket. It's called it's called training wheels. It's called helmet. It's called knee pads. That's what it's called. Nothing wrong with any of that stuff.
No, there isn't. There isn't.
But if
definitely.
you, like you said before, you're trying to get people in. Okay, cool. You don't do a competition because there's a difference between competing
Yes.
and a battle.
Yes.
A battle is in a cipher. It's in a circle.
Yeah.
It is not in a competition because so many variables, so many elements are missing on stage.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
On stage, you're being judged for execution.
Yeah.
You know, technique.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of people winning and there's no engagement, they're just performing. So it's a show, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
In a circle, there's no entertainment. Watch the round, you make up your mind. Until someone gives up, that's it. You have control over yourself. You're trying to dominate yourself with someone reflecting you, you know?
Yes.
And hopefully the person who's reflecting is much more experienced than you.
Yeah.
Much better than you. That's why you always call out above yourself.
Right.
You always call out someone that you feel is untouchable. You know? Sure, you call out younger people because that's part of your job, you know?
Yes.
That's what I do all the time.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
want to see what these young guys have got.
Yeah.
You call out in your generation too. That's a real tough test, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
But you always call out above yourself. The security blanket is that you already registered, they choose who you're in the bracket with, you're going to dance to whatever is on. You know that after 2 it's done. You know, so even if you lose, like you don't even have a chance to be vulnerable, to be called out and shit your pants. Or to be like, he's here, she's here, it's time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You can't even, when you're training, you're preparing for that. You're preparing for the unknown.
Yeah, you always gotta be
Shit,
ready.
so-and-so's here from overseas? I didn't even know. Oh, good. Thank God I've been training, because here it comes. Oh, they're already here? Oh, well, I'm going to have to do it right now. That's the unpredictability. That's what makes it. That's why I stopped competing, because that was driving me nuts.
Yeah,
The fact that I didn't have control over when I wanted to go, whether it was hot, whether it was not, whether it was a lame cipher. Like, there was no control. But because the system's there, and because the rules are there, and because the judges are there, and because you know that by 5 p.m. it's finished. This is killing hip hop, man.
Yeah.
This is killing it. No one gathers afterwards. No one eats afterwards. No one even watches the final because they know that they can watch it on YouTube in 10 minutes. It's been, you know, it's been live streamed right now. You can watch it outside the venue or in your Uber as you're going home.
Yeah, true.
There's no mystery. There's no vulnerability. There's no risk taking. That's what earns you your stripes. That's what people respect. When you take it to them and you're a fucking nobody and nobody knows your name and you take it to them, and when a young guy calls you out, you respect that.
Yeah, hell
That's why
yeah,
it's
bro.
your duty to go out, because they put that effort in. You don't know, that's probably something they've been conjuring up in their head for 10 years straight.
Right.
I'm going to battle Pepito, I'm going to battle Hood, I'm going to battle Thing, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go that.
Yeah.
I've been told of guys who have flown to places,
Just to
my
battle
thing
someone.
was cancelled and I didn't turn up, and that was it. They flew just to, and I've done it to other people.
Damn.
I've done it to many people, or they didn't accept it. That's all part of the game. But tell me who wants to do that
Yeah.
when they've got so many other things that they're on their weekend. Like you said, I go to an event, I'm going to spend all night there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a session, I'm going to go all night there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a workshop, I'm going to try and hang out with that person, hang out in their hotel, get to know them a little bit better. There's no anything else. There's no Asian New Year, there's no wedding, there's no Christmas, there's no nothing.
Yeah.
That's how I've always thought.
Yeah. Same.
There's no, I've got work tomorrow,
I got birthdays.
I've got birthdays. There's none of that shit. It's my birthday, cool. Let's celebrate like this.
Yeah.
Takes a special person to be like that, you know, inclined in a certain way.
Yeah.
You gotta have something that's unbalanced, you know?
Dang. Y'all getting this? Y'all catching what he's putting down, man? I might need to listen to this again. Yo. But this is all fire, man. It's just making me like, I know that there's like just cogs turning in my head.
This is part of ciphering.
This is the cipher, bro. Yeah,
this is
100%.
philosophical cipher.
Yeah, definitely.
This is a mind cipher. This is brainstorming together. This is how new ideas come about, new concepts. This is how, and this verbal stuff is the stuff that people do naturally in the States, in barbershops, hair salons, barbecues.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's been taken out of the equation. But when I was in
all,
Europe,
it's all about the movement aspect of it.
people talk about community, but how can community just be online? Community is eating together.
Yeah.
Community is coming and just celebrating together.
Yeah.
You know, there's events. Once the competition is over, there's a dope party afterwards, dope DJ, everyone's gone.
Yeah, everyone's
I gotta eat,
I
gotta eat.
Yeah.
Just wait, we'll eat later.
Yeah.
This is gonna last 2 hours, 3 hours, like, you know.
It's not
That's why pre-parties and after parties are just so massive to this thing,
Yeah.
where you don't have to be in that mindset and you can just talk about all this stuff. I mean, that's how we got to know each other,
Yeah. 100%.
because we would just make time for this. But I always
Yeah.
make time for this.
Yeah. Definitely.
This is what I actually like doing in my spare time, talking to people,
Yeah.
getting to know them,
Yeah.
talking about whatever's, you know.
Yeah. I think that is something that's definitely missing, like, even with a lot of people that I've taught, like, they're not, I wouldn't say, like, they are punctual, but they don't know how to, like, organize themselves before a battle, or organize themselves before an event and be like, I need to eat before the event so I can be fully present there.
Yeah.
I'll starve until after the event and then go grab a feed after that.
That's part of the preparation. I always take fruit. I always take a drink.
Yeah.
I always take a spare shirt. I always take
Yeah.
a spare pair of laces. I always
Yeah.
take a brush for my shoes. I always take a spare head wrap. I always take something else in case I can't get to the hotel and come back for the after party. I already have that. If I'm going to wear two, if the floor is like this, if we're going to be on concrete. These are all the things that you need to think about that come with experience, you know? Or you watch people and you go, why did he have that on?
Yes.
Why are those shoes with that?
Yeah.
It just makes sense, you know?
I feel like people don't give a fuck about that shit anymore, though.
They don't, because they don't come from hip hop. Because hip hop is a Afro, Caribbean, Latino culture, and even more now. Asian, white, whatever, everybody's welcome.
Everybody, yeah.
Right? But the roots of it are like that. And if you look at those people, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, all matters. Why?
Always.
Because you don't have anything. You don't have anything. Your parents came from overseas, or they're in the hood, or low socioeconomic. This is what the type of people that it draws in. But now we're in another demographic where most people see it from being in a studio or seeing it online. So you're not coming in from that perspective. So the people that compete don't give a shit about that. So why should you give a shit about that? You're gonna wear grey pants with a brown jumper with some pink shoes. You don't give a shit. I can tell, because that's the first thing I see. When I see someone in a circle, I'm like, I'm not looking at moves. I'm not looking at anything. I just look at how they dress first. Then I see the groove. I look for the groove first. Are they grooving? How are they taking care of themselves? Do they look healthy? Okay. How do the shoes look with the pants? Okay, now they're getting down. Okay, this guy's quite good. All right. Or they're doing this. Okay, I can see who taught them.
Yeah.
There's a lineage there.
Yeah.
That's a massive thing, lineage. That's what you're referring to, is having a lineage. Having some sort of connection where young people that I see and I get inspired by, I know straight away. I'll be like, who's your teacher?
Yeah.
Because they're already conducting themselves in that way.
Yeah.
Oh, Hood's my teacher. Okay,
Yeah,
because
for
I
sure.
saw you do this. Or so-and-so's my teacher. Yeah, I saw you do this. I saw how you dressed. I knew you were from there. Which city are you from? You know, yeah, he teaches me. I started with him. It all makes sense, man. It's all a family tree. But if you come from the left and you think you're gonna go and change the game, you're not part of this, you know?
Yeah.
It's strange.
It's a hard thing to, like, we can obviously pick them apart in a sense, pick them out, I should say, but like, you just have to, like, it's not anything that we can really change per se, because there's people that are just seeing it online and in the studios, and they're just like, yeah, I want that. I don't actually want what hip hop has to offer. And I feel like that's so, like, I guess I don't know if this is the correct word to use, but it's kind of debilitating, because they're not receiving the fullness of the dance that they're doing. Because I don't think that you have the dance without the culture.
Yeah, but I mean, I started with videotapes. It was the same thing.
True.
So let's say I started yesterday. Right?
Yeah.
My videotape would be my phone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you, how did you start?
Same.
Watching it like that, right? Because we're not in America.
Yeah.
We're not in the Bronx. We're not
No.
in LA. We're not
Right.
anywhere close to this place.
Yeah.
We have little contacts here and there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's exactly the same thing. This thing takes time, you know? It takes time. It takes decades. I talk in decades now, you know? Decades. 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Most people don't make it past 5 years, especially in this day and age. 5 years, 10 years. And they'll be lucky to get over it if they've had that high point where they're the man or they're the chick, you know, they're it. And then all of a sudden they're irrelevant. To get past that point already is already a remarkable feat. You know, to stick with it there or to not become bitter, or not to glorify the past because you're not active right now. That's what I love about hip hop. You have to be active
You have to be
right
active.
now. It doesn't matter what I did yesterday. It doesn't matter what you're gonna do, what you say you're gonna do.
Yeah.
What matters is what you actually do, and the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
I don't care how many followers. I don't care about any of that stuff. Is it something that's powerful? Is it something that has substance? Is it something that speaks to me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I might not like it today, but I might understand it in 20 years. You know? Or it's all about patience. We've got to give people patience and time, you know?
Yeah.
The ones that will come, and the ones that come and go is all good.
Yeah.
It's all good, but we all started the same way, you know?
Yeah.
I think encouraging young people and giving your best to them is like the best thing you can do, you know? And lead by example and not talk about it, you know? Talking about it and then not actually following it up, that's
I think
the
that's the main thing.
That is
for
the
sure.
worst, you know? Because you're cheating yourself, and then
Right.
you're cheating people that really respect you, you know? So it's
Mhm.
better just to stay tight-lipped and just do your shit and then be fulfilled with what you do. And then guess what? The best of you always comes out.
Yeah, 100%.
And that delayed gratification. You
Yeah.
know? I've had people say to me, I was in Queensland 2 weeks ago, and they were like, you know, I saw you 15 years ago. I saw you 20 years ago.
Damn.
And you said this, or you did this, and at the time I didn't understand it, and I didn't like it. But now I really understand it. Cool. Good for you. That's awesome. Because I'm like that too. I might not understand what young people are trying to do, or people above me, or whatever else.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're just patient and you just leave it to the side,
Yeah.
one day you'll understand it, you know?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Because that's when you grow. If not,
Yeah.
it's difficult, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So we've kind of dabbled in the battle sector. What do you think is lacking in battles right now?
Competitions or battles?
Let's say both. We'll go competition first because that's what I believe more people are doing.
Yeah. I mean, the whole issue with it is you're judging it. You know?
Yeah.
So you got some amazing artwork here,
Yeah.
and I either like it or I don't like it. That's my choice. But imagine if that artist was dependent on my opinion to sell their work, to make their reputation. Who the fuck is anyone to say anything about that painting? Like I said before, I go into galleries and I don't understand this shit. Then I read the description, get a little bit more educated, and I'm like, wow, this person went through this. This is incredible. But that is the main problem. The main problem is the criteria is very limited, and it's very a personal thing.
Yeah, I
Also,
think there's a lot of bias in there for
bias
sure.
and also politics. And when money gets involved, there's already preference for this person. Oh, this person's my student. This person's this. Yeah. That's when the bullshit gets wrecked, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's that bias shit for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and that hinders people. You
So
know?
when you're judging, what do you base it off of?
Look, I judged 2 weeks ago. I hadn't been judging a breaking competition for so long, for so many years. And all of my decisions were opposite to the other guys, you know?
That's usually mine too, right?
And I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Because my criteria always changes.
Right.
As I evolve.
Yeah.
As I understand it better. I don't care if you agree with it or you don't agree with it, or you have a problem with it, you can settle it with me. I don't care. You know? I'll make you look stupid. And I'll tell you why you look stupid.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with any of that. And I don't live off this shit. So I don't have a preference for this guy or this crew, or I'm going to lose workshops. I don't care. I work in schools. I'm a teacher. I work with young people, at-risk youth, whatever else. But if you're dependent on it,
Mm.
you're part of that system, you're part of that wave,
Yeah.
sure, you've got a problem.
Yeah.
You don't want to offend so-and-so, he's connected to this guy.
Mm.
You don't want to say the wrong thing, this is whatever. In my experience with breaking, first I look at how the person's dressed.
Yeah.
Because that's going to already show me a level of the care factor. How big's the care factor?
Mm.
Is it just moves? Is it just dance? Is it just street dance? How invested are you in this?
Mm.
And how much pride do you have for yourself? And how much knowledge do you, and how artistic can you be and visually impactful can you be with what you're wearing? That's already the first thing out the door, you know.
Mm.
I love that story that Nas tells in his documentary. He's like, he goes back to Queensbridge and he sees all the old people that were hanging there, the old school guys. And he stops a guy on his bike and he says, like, get this guy, it's very important you film this guy, this is so-and-so. This guy, if my trainers were dirty, he'd scold me and he'd send me back up to my apartment building and be like, clean your shoes, this is not how you walk around, right?
Mm.
That's pride, that's culture, man.
Mm.
That's a mentor, that's someone that cares for you and is probably not even related to you.
Right.
You've got to have that inside you.
Mm.
I've got to iron my shirt, I've got to smell good, I've got to brush my teeth, you know?
Yeah.
You've got to shave, I've got to, you know, maybe I'll get a haircut. Like, it goes beyond movement.
Yeah.
Because aesthetics are the first thing.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about dance, performing arts with the body.
Mm.
We're talking about aesthetics.
Mm.
That matters.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's ugly, I don't want to look at it. Who the fuck wants to watch ugly shit? Nobody.
Mm.
They want to see something that speaks to them.
Yeah.
That's why we have makeup. That's why we have fashion labels. That's why we have all of these visual things, you know. Fashion's a massive element in hip hop.
Yeah.
Huge. It
Definitely.
already tells a story about you and your style.
Yeah.
And what you're
for
going
sure.
to bring to the table.
Mm.
Fashion's number one. Groove is number two. 3 is the ability to go off. I don't care what
What
you're
do you
doing
mean
in
by that?
breaking. Going off. Going off is hitting that breaking point, as phase 2 said it.
Yeah.
You're hitting that breaking point. You're hitting that point that the crumpers do too. They get to that exhaustion level where they just want to just rip someone's head off.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in breaking.
Yeah.
You want to hit that point where you are going off, where you are one with God, you know?
Yeah.
You are one, you are aligned. Bang.
Yeah.
It happens in every art form.
Mm.
Sure, then you've got the other things. Then you have battling. You have to have some sort of dialogue with your opponent.
Yeah.
Now I just
For sure.
watch people facing the audience, not looking at each other, not engaging, not even getting close to the person they're battling,
Yeah.
not gesturing to the person,
Yeah.
not speaking with their eyes.
Yeah.
So you can't even call this battling. You can't
Yeah.
even get close to calling this battling.
Mm.
A battle in a circle is so personal.
Yeah.
That's why it always comes from some sort of disagreement, some sort of conflict,
Mm.
some sort of bravado, some sort of I'm gonna top you, you know, that
Yeah.
competitive nature.
To be
Yes.
honest, I feel like that is like I don't see that much anymore.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Because they're mixing everything together to make it more sellable. Street dance. Well, what is
Yeah.
street dance? Just like break dance. What is break dance? They grab
Mm.
popping, locking, waving
Yeah.
with a little bit of power moves. That's break dance. Why? Because they could sell all of it. They couldn't sell a windmill by itself, but they could sell a wave in a windmill. Hello.
Came out.
Oh, got a visitor here.
That's
Um,
Boogie.
Salute to Boogie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So now they got whacking, they got crumping, they got breaking, they got house dance, they got this dance, they got this. It's all going sideways because it's all more packageable now.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But whacking, house dance, and the way they interact with each other is totally different because the music style is different.
Yeah.
The culture
For
is
sure.
different. the demographic of that community was very different.
Mm.
If you look at all the boroughs in New York, you see why these dancers come from New York. Breaking in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, you know, Chicago with the house dance. It was all representative of that environment.
Right.
In what people were doing there. It was all a manifestation of the same thing, you know, just expressed in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's why it's not like that, and that's why it even makes it less of a battle, because it's not personal. And now people don't know how to engage in that because they get pissed off every time you call them out, because they think they have
They
some
get
sort
pissed
of
off when you point a finger.
yeah, 100%, because they have this complex in their head that they're above you and you're down here, and now we have hierarchy, and I judge here and I fly here. What the fuck does that even mean with anything?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of hip hop.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you. I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
It's called accountability.
Right.
Now more than ever, we don't have
Transparency too.
Exactly. We don't have accountability.
Mm.
We don't have somebody owning up to their wrong or whatever it is, or even telling you why they feel that way.
Mm.
You know? That's why it's the most impactful culture in I don't know how long. It's the most progressive.
I think it'll be it is the most progressive, and it's bigger than fucking everything.
Everyone jumped on it.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
You name any company, they
Yeah.
all jumped on it.
Yeah.
You jump
100%.
on the you know, now you got politicians rapping, making themselves look like idiots. Rapping, trying to be down,
Yeah.
you know? And we're asking them for things? No, motherfucker, it's the other way around.
No.
You want to come into my world.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're out handouts and begging for shit and selling out and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the way it is, man, you know? And I don't have a problem with it, but if you tell me what I think about it, I'll tell you straight.
Mm.
Because no one's talking about it, and we all want to just stay on the fence because we want an opportunity. I don't give a fuck. I make my own opportunities. That's what hip hop taught me.
Yes.
I make my own lane. I make my own destiny.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna try and do.
Yeah.
If no one sees it, that's the risk I'm willing to take. Bad luck, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not here to be liked and popular. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
I never had an interest in pop culture. I'm not into that.
Yeah.
I like shit when it's just come out or when it's already past its date, you know?
Yeah.
Like when it's not popular anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like now I'm into all of the stuff that I thought was whack when I started when I started in hip hop. You know, there was a division
Right.
between R&B and rap
Yeah.
music.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And people were crossing over.
Yeah.
But I started listening to a lot of like Destiny's Child and
Right.
TLC.
That's what you're on right now?
Jodeci. No, right now I'm into the jazz greats. I'm into like
Dope.
Miles Davis, John
Mm.
Coltrane. I'm just trying to
Nice.
go through their discography and
Yeah.
try to work out, you know, try
When
and
you
dig.
when you train, you're obviously not just dancing to breaks, right? You dance to everything.
Yes. But if I'm going to dance to anything, I try and keep it in the context of hip hop.
Expand on that.
The context of hip hop for b-boys and hip hoppers is, to me, it must have a break, something that makes you
Right.
hit that point. And lots of genres can, because we incorporated everything.
Yeah.
So jazz can,
Yeah.
R&B can, soul can, the blues can.
Mhm.
Basically any genre that gets you into that all had, especially jazz had, a huge component of jazz is improvisation.
Yeah.
Now what is hip hop? It's freestyle.
Right.
So we're talking about how everything's monetized and
Yeah.
constrained.
Yeah.
No freestyle, no hip hop.
Yeah.
No freestyle, nothing.
What would be your definition of freestyle? Because and the reason why I'm asking that is because I literally do everything off the top. Even if I create material, I don't end up doing it.
Yeah.
I just create it, and maybe I'll use it in a cipher,
Yeah.
but I ain't gonna do it in a way that's like pre-planned or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because that ends up being a show then. it ends up being choreography, how can it actually be considered freestyle?
That's what I love about Crump, because I can tell that a lot of people are just going off, you know.
A lot of people do, bro, but like if I send you like
Yeah,
footage,
I'll start to
you'll
see
see so much, like so many people come so prepared for shit.
Yeah.
And like for me personally, probably just like you in breaking, is like I don't give a fuck about a shoe trick or a shirt trick and stuff. Like I can do them, but I commit to doing it off the top of my head if I feel like that's what's meant to come out, rather than being like, yo, check this out, I've got this dope ass trick, and then get to the point of like being like that alignment. I can get to alignment straight away. Why do I need to make it look fancy?
It's all got to do with personality. I think
For
freestyle
sure.
is very personal.
Yeah, it is definitely.
But by definition, there's 3 styles of freestyle for me. There's
I've only heard of 2. But go ahead.
so freestyle for breaking and how most people dance is mixing and matching.
Yes.
So you obviously have text and moves, sequences that you have premeditated and prepared.
Yeah.
Because breaking's so difficult to go on the ground, and
Right.
you know it's very exhausting, very taxing. And then you mix and match them. So you'll have A and B and this move, and I'll do this move second. That's great for competition because you can fill out what you need to fill out and get the round done, you know, and gauge of whether you've done enough.
Yeah.
Number 2 is a little bit more difficult. It's freestyle within the move. So freestyle within the move is the ability to have that sequence, premeditated sequence, but be able to enter it in a different way every time and be able to modify it in the middle and then to exit it in a different way every time. So you're adding more off the top into the entry, the main block of it, but also manipulate that sequence. You're not doing it boom, 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 boom. No, I can go boom, 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 boom. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can extend it,
Yeah,
you can
for sure.
edit it, you can shorten it, you can elongate it, you can
Yeah.
make it smooth,
Yeah.
you can make it
You
rough.
can change the texture.
Exactly. You can change the level, you can
Right.
do it on the ground, you can do it on top. Then there's freestyle, which is total freestyle, which is off the top, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Incredibly difficult to do. That's why most people do it in circles, because you
Yeah.
have that leeway to go, you know what, I'm just gonna enjoy it, I'm just gonna go. I don't feel pressure, I just love this song, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
Only a handful of b-boys can do that in each scenario, you know. In a big competition, a judges showcase, and a cypher, you know.
Yeah.
That's my definition of freestyle. You got to have all 3. I mean, you got to have it all. But some people just dance in sequences, just sets,
Yeah.
and that's fine too because it's authentic, you know. For some people that does
But then
not
would you
work.
call it? But then would you call it freestyle?
No, definitely
Yeah,
not.
okay.
No, it's not freestyle.
Yeah.
It's still breaking, but
Right.
it's not freestyle because some people can go off like that.
Yeah. True.
They know that so well that they can go off.
Yeah.
I think it's best to have all 3 or all 4 set, mix and match, freestyle within the move, and then because you have a full range of being able to be adaptive and flexible and
Right.
whatever else. If you're just doing a set, unless you know how to manipulate it, you're always going to be stuck, you know, in
Kind
the
of
structure
doing
of
the
that.
same thing. Right.
Yeah, which is crazy because with rapping they always say a freestyle, but it's a pre-written.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because they say this all the time.
They
and
say it all the time.
really grinds my gears
Yeah.
because I know when an MC's freestyling because you can feel the
You can
pace
feel it.
change.
Yeah.
Pace changes so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas
It's
a
kinda like-
premeditated thing is just so quick and so sharp and
Yes.
witty and, you know,
Yeah.
if you watch like Funk Flex or,
Yeah.
you know, Sway in the Morning, Sway's Universe, you can see it. You can see
Yeah,
the
for
guys
sure.
who are mixing and matching. You can see the guys who are just off the top of their dome. You can see people reading off their phones. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all love. It's all good. It's just
Yeah.
what works for you. There's no
Yeah.
right or wrong.
Right.
I believe that that's what it is because I dabble in all of it depending on what
Yes.
the situation is.
Yeah.
High
for
pressure
sure, same.
situation, okay, I'm gonna go with what I know.
Mm.
Tired, I'm gonna go with what I know.
Mm.
Okay, a little bit more leeway. Dude's not really listening. Okay, I just hit him with some freestyle because he can't freestyle at all. So okay, check this out. I'm just gonna freestyle. You're not gonna get it. No one's gonna get it, but you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to you.
I think that's one of the biggest things that dance has taught me too, for sure, is like you have to learn how to adapt to every situation.
That's life, man.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't see a lot of people being able to do that. They stick to their comfort zones and keep themselves in, I guess, in a box in a sense. They never
You know what that
really
is, man?
venture
That's
out.
fear. That's fear, man. That's fear. That's lack of courage. And I'm not
Yeah,
dissing
definitely.
everybody for it because everybody has their own levels of fear. I have them, you have
Yeah,
them,
same.
everybody has them.
100%.
And we're all dealing with stuff, but you have to be a warrior. This is warrior dance. This is a warrior culture. Hip hop
Mhm.
is a warrior culture. This is, no one's gonna hold your hand. You know, this is, you're gonna have to figure this out for yourself, and you're gonna
People
have
expect that too much now. I feel like the new gen, even from like past years, it's all just people just want things, you know.
because they want it the easy.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
It's hard to bust your
Are they
balls.
really?
It's
fucking
hard to-
warriors anymore?
No, you're a soldier. That's the difference. You're a soldier.
Yeah.
You're waiting for things to be. You're handed orders.
Mm.
That's what you do in the army.
Mm.
Unless you're a colonel or you're
Right.
whatever else the
Lieutenant,
rankings
whatever.
are.
Yeah. General.
You give, but you're still taking orders. You're
Right.
part of the system. You're part of a group.
Mm.
In hip hop, yes, we have crews, we have this and that, like the army. But we also have these left-sided, like, just revolutionaries
Right.
that come in and just like, boom. And they're all through history.
Yeah.
Lao Tzu, Sun Tzu,
Mm.
any type of philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, all of these people that you can look up and you can see aspects of that warrior mentality. What they all have in common is they have a great philosophy. Now, if you're taking orders, how are you going to develop your own philosophy? You don't. In the army, you're not taught to think. You're taught
yourself.
how to think.
Yeah.
You're taught, in this situation, we
So
do this.
regimented.
Yeah. But some people thrive in that.
True.
And some people need that.
Yeah.
You were alluding to that before. This is something that's going to teach you, you know, you're a disciple of hip hop. This is going to teach you to be punctual. This is going to teach you about respect. This is going to teach you. And then, man, you have all of these things. Go about your own way.
Mm.
And then make sure you hand it down to somebody else.
Mm.
But it's a big difference between a warrior and a soldier.
Soldier.
You're just a soldier. And in this grand scheme of things, I mean, in the world, in the universe, whatever it is, we are all soldiers. We're all soldiers
Right.
of God, the higher one, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because we're all here doing our work, you know?
Mm.
So you don't need to worry.
So what would you say is your work? Like for where you're at now, what would you say is your mission moving forward for the next decade?
I think I can kind of have an idea about it. You can have a plan about it.
Yeah.
But, you know, life is life and things change and you don't know what you're going to be given tomorrow. Because I think everything's out of our control anyways.
Mm.
You know,
We can only
we like to
control.
think we're guiding things and we try our best to, I think we try our best just to deal with things. I think that's
Agreed.
what
To adapt to things.
exactly,
adapt
just to
what
accept
happens.
it.
Yeah.
You know, accept it. This is
For
going to
sure.
happen to you, or this happened to you, this happened to so and so. You're going to have to just adapt and put, like you said, persevere, have that warrior mindset and just go, you know what,
Mm.
I can do this. I've done it before.
Mm.
It's very similar to what happened to me before, just in a bigger way or a lesser way. Cool,
Yeah.
I know how to get through this. I have the skills to be able to do this. In the next 10 years, I don't know. I just want to continue teaching. I want to continue traveling. I want to.
That's something that I want to do, man. I haven't been able to travel for so long.
Yeah. I mean, after 2020, I mean, things have really changed.
Yeah, I haven't traveled. Did I? No, I haven't traveled or like battled anybody else. That like you were saying, like battle people that are better than you.
Mm.
I haven't done that for ages. For like probably close to like 5-6 years. I think.
Mm. That's professional development, you know, in the kind of corporate or, you know,
Yeah.
education
Yeah, for
circles,
sure.
workplace
Yeah,
kind of talk. It's professional development.
yeah,
You know, you can
Yeah.
get that from teaching. I mean, teaching
Yeah, for
is one of
sure.
the most powerful things I think ever. I think education is one of the most powerful things ever.
mm.
So definitely in the next 10 years, you know, 30 years, as long as I can go, definitely teach, because if you can teach something, you can understand something.
Mm.
And you can understand it because there will always be someone that can't articulate it the way you can. And your job is to try your very best to guide them and make them understand due to their circumstance or their perception or whatever it is, their age or disability or whatever it is. So every time you're kind of peeling away at the onion, you know,
Yeah,
you understand it better, you
Yeah.
understand movement better, you understand music better,
mm.
you understand fashion better, you understand people better, you understand yourself better. You know, at the end of the day,
Mm.
everything aside, all the noise,
Yeah,
it's about you understanding yourself,
mm.
being happy with yourself, and enjoying your life too, you know.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
All of this stuff I take mega serious, but it's also fun too, you know.
Yes.
It has to be fun.
Yeah.
Learning
I've-
should be fun,
Yeah.
you know.
They don't make it fun though.
Well, that's they, you know.
Yeah.
That's
That's
them.
it's
I don't
systematic.
I don't concern myself with they or whoever wants to do it. And some of those people that, you know, that are involved in organising events, this and that, are some of my best friends and some of the people that have given me the biggest opportunities. So it's not a them, us, we're all us, you know.
Mm.
We're all,
Mm.
that's how I feel about it. Like, we're all us. I wouldn't have been at those places if it wasn't for those people.
Yeah.
And everybody's just trying. The thing is that a lot of things need to be dummied down, you know.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you know, I can't go into a class full of 8-year-olds and be like, this is freestyle, this is how we do. Man, they're 8 years old, you know.
Yeah.
Like, make it fun for them, understand the age group,
Yeah.
what they like,
Yeah.
what they don't like.
Yeah.
And then you just work and try and get them to, and hopefully they stick to it.
Mm.
Some kids just come to me for some developmental, physical development stuff.
Yeah.
Some for a bit of discipline.
Yeah.
Some for a bit of affection,
Mm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
some sort of attention.
Yeah.
And that's it. Send them on their way. That's it. You know,
Mhm.
they'll do something else and whatever else. Really cool. You know, I mean, that's the power of education.
Mm.
You know, we're just lucky and very fortunate to be able to teach what I'm interested in. You know, I'm not
Yeah, for sure.
in a mainstream classroom and I'm teaching a curriculum and testing kids and most of them are disengaged and stuff. No, I come in from the side and be like, check it out, we can still do this thing, but let's do it this way.
Mm.
And add some little covert words in there that the teachers don't get onto. They think it's all fabulous, but really I'm trying to, you know, give the children a little bit of a shake, and the teachers too.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be like, life's not A, B, C, D, you know, it's actually Z, T,
Yeah.
you know, A, 8.5, like whatever you
And some
want it to
numbers
be.
in there, some
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
exclamation
Yeah,
marks.
it's all lopsided.
Spaces.
Uppercase, lowercase, whatever,
Yeah.
space, dash.
MSN.
yeah.
MSN Messenger days.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Man, what? I reckon. Yeah, we've been talking for a minute, man. Is there anything that you want to like share that you feel like is on, that you've been wanting to share but you haven't had the space?
I think one thing is really just being curious, you know? I think being curious and being a lifelong learner,
Yeah.
learning how to learn is a really like powerful thing. Whether you're talking about hip hop or whether you're talking about just anything in general.
Yeah.
Just being inquisitive and asking questions and being critical of things.
Yeah.
I think that's so important, you know? I think asking questions is so important
Yeah.
because that's
Definitely.
actually how you learn.
Mm.
I used to always ask questions years ago, and it used to really bother me that no one else would ask questions. They wouldn't ask me questions.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I'm just talking about the same stuff all the time, I'm not really learning anything.
Right.
So there's actually nothing wrong with asking questions.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people have that fear of looking stupid.
Mm.
And I think certain
Yeah,
cultures,
for sure, man.
certain cultures have that already in them. You know, where they don't acknowledge shame and they don't acknowledge looking stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think a big thing about this whole thing of hip hop and culture and all that is really the willingness to like overcome and be inquisitive and have fun
Mm.
and try your best. I mean, that's all you can really do.
Right.
And
That's all you
accept
can
that
do in life too.
this is what I'm talking about. Like,
right.
your best was your best. You gave it your best,
Yeah.
and that's it. You know,
Yeah.
what we might watch this back and go, oh, I could have said this better. Well, just accept it. It
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
Next time I'll try better.
Yeah.
You can't have all the answers at one time, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think acceptance is like a massive thing in general.
Mm.
But yeah, I think being inquisitive, digging, you know, really being invested
Yeah,
in
man.
something.
People, I feel like people don't dig enough, bro. They don't study enough.
No, I mean that's always been and probably will always be a reoccurring theme in what we do because this is independent learning. This is
Yeah.
not I go to a classroom learn.
Yeah.
Your classroom is the world, and you've got to know. Okay, I've got to learn a bit of maths. I've got to be interested in this. I'm always interested in anything. I'll be interested in anything. As long as I can see some greatness in it.
Right.
So I can watch an interview on a comedian. I can watch how they build race cars. I can watch some surfing. As long as I can get to the bottom of what it means to be great at that.
Mm.
And to see that the people who do that are at the top of the level. And hip hop is about innovation. It's about new ideas. It's about new philosophy. That's why it's never stagnant and
Yeah.
never the same way. And it's independent thinking and philosophy. That's where the real clash is with all of these events and all of these competitions. Because it's all starting to become
The
same communist thinking.
Mm.
Communists, like, we all think that this is the best. This is not the way we think in hip hop, you know?
Yeah.
We think individualistic, we respect each other,
Yeah.
and in that way we find innovation in that way.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Communist
Yeah,
thinking
that's
only copies other innovation. It takes from
Yeah.
other innovation. The other thing I wanted to say is you have to adopt this thing. You have to put your culture to the side. You want to be really serious about this thing? You have to put aside the fact that you're Chinese or Latino or whatever else it is.
Yeah.
You got to put that on the side, in the back burner, and adopt this as your culture. Because the way I conduct myself is always hip hop.
Hip hop all day.
And it's not a religious thing or a sect or a...
No,
it's just all those skills that I've adopted. Then that's always going to be with you.
Yeah.
The fact that you're Asian or the fact
Right,
that you're
right.
Arabic or whatever it is that you are. You have to take this first. Learn how to navigate with this. The other stuff will naturally flow into it. The limitations, what I see now with the current state of things, is that people do not let go of their cultural stuff that they have already at home, how they behave, how they speak, what they eat. I do this on a Sunday, I do this. This is not. Hip hop is whatever. It gives you freedom, you know?
It should.
It gives you, it gave me freedom.
Yeah.
Gave me a voice,
Yeah.
gave me confidence, let me see the whole world, make connections with so many people, stay for free at places, get into places for free, get into places first, never line up.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
You know, just because of what I was involved in. Why would I want to be, okay, I'm Latino, we only eat this. Oh no, we don't. I don't do that. No. We're having our, our Sunday barbecue. No, I can't go to this jam. It's already hindering your shit.
Yeah.
Pivot to the side. It's always going to be with you.
Yeah.
No one's going to think that you're not Asian. Whatever's.
Yeah.
And then you bring it in the mix. You bring your
for
culture
sure.
in the mix. You bring some of that heritage. You bring that, and it's inevitable anyways. It's part of your DNA.
Yeah.
So it's part of your evolution. Don't worry about it. But music lover first, hip hopper, b-boy, b-girl, crumper, whatever else you want to do. I mean, in terms of the other dance styles, it's harder. I don't think maybe it's not harder, but I know voguing, I know whacking, I know house dance, I know all the freestyle hip hop stuff. All has its own culture, its own language.
Yeah.
So it's really not that hard. It all has its music.
Mm.
The other thing I gotta say too is I'm sick of listening to the same goddamn songs at every event. That's what I'll say. I'm sick of the laziness of the DJs.
Yeah.
I'm sick of DJs not digging.
Yeah.
And you have the whole discography of the whole entire universe on your laptop accessible to you, and you're playing the same 2 Wu-Tang songs, please. Can we stop being lazy?
Yeah.
You know how many albums
For
Wu-Tang
free.
have?
Yeah.
If you like Wu-Tang, you probably like Boot Camp Click too,
Yeah.
And that and
Facts.
that's already another,
That's a whole nother thing, and then you have each individual person that they
each individual person. Then you got duos.
Yeah.
So stop playing the same Shook ones and the same Mob D tracks.
Yeah.
Prodigy had his own thing.
Mhm.
Havoc has his own thing. You got Big Noid. You got all the Queensbridge rappers. Like, dig. Stop being lazy. Just because you're getting props, don't let it stop there. You should have a hunger for this thing. And in terms of music, like you asked me what I practice to. Well, you are what you eat, so you are what you listen to. So if your dance is dog shit, it's because you listen to dog shit music. You listen to the same tracks that everybody else does, and then you're making up the same styles and the same moves as
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
And this is how we have that communist thinking going on.
Yeah.
Whereas music is so vast. I mean, they say the rap is like gone? I do not think so. I mean, the
No,
amount
hell
of
no.
incredible artists there are that just pop up every day that know exactly what they're doing. Now there's this whole renaissance of jazz, you know? There's a whole lot of young jazz
Yeah,
musicians
there's heaps actually.
that are actually coming to Perth,
Yeah.
you know, saxophone players and clarinet players that are making incredible music.
Yeah.
So it's going full circle again. So why would you listen to the same 3 Herbie Hancock songs or
Yeah.
whoever else songs? Because those guys had an amazing catalogue of work anyways.
Right.
So longevity's also got to do with variety. I can't do the same shit all the time. Can't listen to the same shit all the time.
Mm.
At least if I'm gonna listen to that song, you know that Just Begun and Apache has like 3 or 4 versions,
Yeah.
and other artists are covering it now.
Yeah.
So why not listen to all of the array of those songs if you really like them?
Mm.
But you're doing a disservice to yourself and that artist to just be listening to the same goddamn song, and the all-star battles are the same.
Yeah.
It's becoming like pop music. We
Oh,
all know
yeah.
this song.
Yeah.
We all know this song. We all, look, yeah. The crowd should not even be cheering because they don't know what you're playing.
True.
The DJ should question and educate the audience
Yeah.
and be like, what's this weird shit? You know you're doing something right when people are questioning it
Mm.
or people are disliking it. You know you're turning something.
Mm. For sure.
And look at the backlash hip hop got when it started. You know, people just could not stand it. They thought it was devil's music.
Yeah.
They thought the dancing was whack. They
Yeah.
thought the fashion was retarded. Like,
Yeah.
so
Now
that's what
the
it
world
is. That's what it is to be a game changer. That's what it is. You got to turn the game upside down
Mm.
because you can win competitions till the cows come home. I don't care. Good for you. You can have a gold medal. Great.
Mm.
But will you be in those books of those game changers? I very highly doubt it.
Right.
There's a difference between being a champion and being a legit certified artist that turned the shit on its head, you know?
Mm.
Or stuck to it 30, 40 years, stuck to their guns, you know?
Mm.
That's respected.
Yeah.
Your head's going.
Fire. Nah, I just have more questions, but we've been talking for a minute.
I know. I told
It's
you it'd be a
been
long
fire.
podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's been fire though. It's been
I
fire.
can talk. If there's one thing my parents are giving to me and my ancestors, is the gift of gab, man. Like, I can talk when I'm
Yeah.
interested in the shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I think that's like, I'm kind of going backwards a little bit just when you were talking about battling and then like sharing, basically. Like the word that came up in my head was sharing. Like people don't even know how to session properly. They don't even know how to actually share with each other. It's like, yo, check out this. How can I do this better? Or like,
okay, so I got a question.
you know what I mean?
I got a question.
Yeah.
So when you guys crump,
Yeah.
if let's say you guys are having a cipher,
Yeah.
obviously you guys don't talk about it. Like, hey, it's your turn. But I've had to do that because that's what I teach in my workshops.
I've had to.
You're
too.
gonna go first, then the next person's gonna go because
Yeah.
they need direction. They've
Yes.
never done it before.
Yes, for sure.
When I started, there was no pauses. It was like
No,
ravenous
it's
dogs.
going-
We're waiting
yeah.
all month for this
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So it was like bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang. There was no breaks. Bang,
Yeah.
and then it would finish.
Yeah.
And we knew we got it out when it finished. You know. But I think people don't even know how to conduct themselves, once, and two, they don't even know when to start and when to finish.
Ooh,
When is
that's
it? When is it
huge.
finished? Because they've been told once the final's done, it's finished.
Yeah.
The event's finished.
Yeah.
Well, this shit could last 3 days. Jazz musicians play for days on end without
Yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah.
That's what a session is with musicians. A
Right.
cipher can be the same.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
have the limitation that it's our body, it's exhausting,
Yeah.
which is a good thing too, because you hit this apex and then you come down.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking you is, when you guys crump and you've been in some good circles, obviously you don't talk about it. You just go in and in and in and in. So is that what you're talking about when you're talking about sharing? When you say people don't know how to share, like they don't know how to voluntarily come in and then they know that they shouldn't leave a gap in the circle, like a silence in the circle. You know, you don't want this huge pause.
Yeah.
You want to keep it, the machine gun rolling. You know?
I think that's definitely an aspect of what I'm saying. But like, let's say we were training together, and even though I'm training by myself and creating things by myself, and you're doing the same, it's like people just train by themselves even though they're together. Yes, that's what I'm saying, right? So it's like that people don't know how to share. Because like if I'm watching you get down, I'm fucking studying you. It's like, how can I use that shit? But a lot of people, in my experience, and just speaking about her specifically, don't do that, you know? And even when we are at an All Styles event, like people ain't even getting down. They ain't even ciphering.
Well, there's been instances where I've gone to those communal sessions, which I never go to, and I'll stand in front of somebody, waiting for them to finish, and then I'm gonna go, without talking,
Yeah.
and I'll just walk off, go get a drink,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the fuck? You have to tell them, you have to
It's like, yo, let's
verbally
go.
tell them,
Yeah.
but this whole function is about not telling them.
Yeah.
It's not about telling each other.
It's about
We're having a conversation with each
Right.
other.
Yeah.
We're sharing information with each other.
Yeah.
Now there's a difference. There's a difference between a cipher
Mm.
and there's a difference between practice that you do on your own.
Yes.
So once this communal
For
space
sure.
shit happened, which I don't know when it happened, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, especially in a
Because
place.
people are just going there to train by themselves and then.
Well, it makes no sense because you're there and you're not centered. You're not by yourself. When I
Right.
practice, I'm by myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to be seen. Even when I practice in the park or near the river or wherever else, I don't want anybody going past. I find a shady spot under a tree. I don't want anybody walking past asking me shit because I want to be by myself. I want to be centered. You go to a communal session, you're practicing with people from other crews,
Yeah.
people that, young guys, older guys, this, that, all these different styles. It makes no sense because that shit you should be doing by yourself. When you're creating something, do you see like Van Gogh go and paint in a room full of other painters? No, that's called a class. That's called a class where you go and do like life drawing or some shit. You have an instructor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where in any other art form do you have people
That's so true.
like imagine all these musicians in one communal place trying to play at the same time? It makes no sense. Could you imagine the noise that comes out there?
Yeah.
So why is it that we're trying to do that?
So you would say it's better to actually say like we're just going to it's a cipher. Because then that brings everybody
Of course.
together and then everybody ends
Of
up actually
course,
sharing.
but see, the terminology is not
It's-
there.
Yes.
The understanding is not there.
Yes.
The agreement that a session means this for you,
Yeah.
a session might not mean that for me because we're
Right.
involved in different dance styles.
Right.
The intensity will be different. Sometimes I've danced with the popping guys here who usually do it in a circle. You know, they'll do it in a cipher. But the intensity is different because they take longer, I go shorter.
Yeah.
But I'm adaptable. They can
Yeah.
start to go short, I can go, but they usually go almost most of the song.
Yeah.
It's okay because you dibble dabble and you learn different things. There's a difference between a crew training session. There's a difference between a crew cipher. There's a difference between you getting in the lab and working out what you need to work out by yourself.
Yeah.
Then when you have all that together, you go and put it to the test in a cipher. You want to put it more to the test, go and battle someone with that and you see the effectiveness of it. That's almost like sparring. You know, you're going to spar somebody. Okay, you're going to see where the training's taking you. Most people never do the sparring. Most people never do the cypher, where they get to see, okay, does this work? Is this working for me? That's science, man. I mean, a lot of this shit is science. I have an idea. I make a hypothesis. I put it in, I do the experiment. The experiment is a cypher. I go back, I watch the footage, or I feel how I feel. That's the conclusion. Alright? I did it in this control group. Let me try it in another control group. Let me see if it works in LA. Let me see if it works in Europe. I did it there, let's see if it works.
Yeah.
It works against this guy, let's see, someone a bit better. This is all part of the science. This is all part of it. So, practice has to be separated. That's why I don't practice with anybody.
Right.
If I'm practicing with somebody, let's say me and you go and practice. Okay, cool, then I want to know something about that.
Yeah.
You know?
That
But
going
the person,
back to what you were saying before about being inquisitive and asking
yeah,
questions.
exactly. But there's already an agreement there, a level of
Right.
understanding,
Right.
you know, that me and you are not really going to talk about it. And you're going to be like, hey, Pep, you go first, me go second, me go. No, it's already going to start like that.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
With other people or younger people, you have to draw them in and you have to explain to them why that is. That's very important.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to get it from the start, because I didn't know from the start.
Yeah.
Everyone starts somewhere else.
Yeah.
But practice has to be like that. You know, there's a science to practice.
I actually really like that, because, you know, if you're thinking about like dance or freestyle as a martial art, you train by yourself. That's where the real work happens. You train by yourself.
But a lot of MMA fighters or boxers, they'll have, you know, time alone with their trainer.
Yes, yeah, for sure, definitely.
But they also do the long
needs to
runs.
happen, yeah.
They do the sprints.
Yeah.
They do the shadow boxing. That's all the individual stuff. But they also part of a team or part of an association or whatever.
Yes.
Sure, so you go to a gym and that guy's punching the heavy bag and this one's doing kicks and grappling, whatever it is. But then they'll have sparring. They'll be like, okay, cool, this weight class, let's bring this dude in. Someone else comes in. Same shit we do. It's a fight. It's a fight warrior culture. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
If you take the parallels of martial arts with it being
It's
there
the
from the
same
beginning,
shit.
you know, kung fu films were from the beginning.
Yeah.
Blaxploitation films were very at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's where a lot of guys started to mimic the behavior, the behavior of the master, the behavior of the different styles, the crane style, the snake style, the the Shaolin monks, how they prepared.
Yeah.
It's all got to mean something. As we're just going around, you know, I've had people say to me, oh man, you know, it's really cool what you say, because like I go into cyphers and I do whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I can tell you go in and do whatever, because it makes no sense. You know?
Yeah.
And that's not a diss, that's like, it shows the level of understanding.
Yeah.
Or whether you just get in there just to have fun. And sometimes I watch people go like that and I'm like, I love it. I love just the freedom and the honesty of it.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to feel like that.
Yeah.
It's actually,
sure.
we're going on a journey to go back to that point.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
Like, we're all evolving to go back to that starting point where you can just go off.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't think of this sequence or that or whatever. I just want to get to that point.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
When could you do that? When you had no moves, you had no style,
Yeah.
you had no concept of anything, you didn't learn anything. You have to learn and unlearn everything. It's that 360, that cycle, you know?
That's fire. I think that's where, like, it takes years to get to that place. But I think it's such a necessity in freestyle. And people, like you were saying before, people find it in different ways. So like if people do like having sets, then that's a dope. For me, I just love freestyling off the top. Yeah, I'll create material. If I'm in a battle, yeah, I'll have material in my head. If it comes out, then it comes out. but like I trust myself enough to know that where I go is enough, because that's my goal, to be in that space as much as possible, which to me is like presence and flow, right? How did you work on that?
Just experience.
Yeah, because again, people want it like this,
You
and
can't.
it's like, no.
How are you gonna think? How are you gonna think like a philosopher who spent all his time writing books, or a musician who learned all of the instruments and spent, God, I don't know, most of their life in a room learning the bass, learning, you know, look at Stevie Wonder, look at Prince, look at all these guys, learning every instrument. How are you gonna just ask for that and then kind of just get it automatically?
Right.
It's not gonna happen. You
Yeah.
have to do the time.
Yeah.
You
Have
know,
to.
you can't.
There's no shortcuts.
There's no. That's the biggest lie ever right now. Is like the hack.
Yeah.
There's no hack.
Even in fucking business and all
There's
these
no
entrepreneurs and
hack,
all
it's
that
a
shit,
con.
it's just,
Anyone telling you that is a con artist.
Mm.
There's no hack to anything. Sure, you can learn from somebody else,
Yeah.
but you're gonna still have to go and do it
Yeah.
because your experience
gonna
is
put in
not
the
the
work.
same as that guy.
Right.
You can think that you're gonna be as fabulous as Prince as much as you want to, and people have tried, but you can't. It's impossible. It's one grain of salt that was on this earth for this time, and that's it. It's over. That's it. You know. So freestyle, I started basic. Sure, there's a system I went through, but I didn't know it at that time. I started with sets. I started breaking the sets up. I started mixing and matching. I started changing the sequences. I went through a whole period from 2019 to now where I just freestyled. Nothing. No set moves, little sequences.
Yeah.
I just want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's an evolution. Now I'm back at, okay, a bit more fixed, a bit more prepared.
Yeah.
You know, a bit more premeditated, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But with all that wonderful stuff that I learned before, you just accumulate it all.
Yeah.
There's no shortcuts to it. You're gonna have to do it, and you might find that first day you're doing it. Some people are just gifted that way,
Yeah.
but then they lose interest
Yes.
or they lose their way.
I feel like a lot of people think that they get there, but
That's the other thing. I was
they
talking
just
to a
fucking
young.
hit the
I
ice,
was- yeah.
the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
you've got
Yeah.
99% of it.
No. I mean, the ego is your enemy. Like, it really is. And I think just now it's just hit me like a bolt of lightning, you know, because I there's a guy who writes about stoicism and all of that type of stuff. And in self-learning, your ego is the enemy. In life, your ego is not the enemy because it has a function. It has to
Yes.
protect you.
Protective, yeah.
Yeah, it's protective. It has an identity.
Yeah.
Keeps you on track.
Yeah.
You know, it sets boundaries for yourself. But everybody thinks that they're dope. You know, that's your ego.
True.
Everyone thinks they've
I
got it
think I'm
worked
dope.
out.
I know I'm dope.
No, I am dope, but the
Yeah.
difference is that I'm dope at being me.
Yes.
It's
yes.
got nothing to do with anybody else.
Right.
That's nothing.
It's like how MCs say, I'm the best rapper.
Of course, but it doesn't take away from me saying, "Oh, Hood's a fabulous crumper
Yeah.
or a great MC or whatever
Right.
he wants to be."
Right.
But if I have a problem saying that about you, then your ego's already gotten you. You know,
Yes.
you can't look outside yourself and see greatness.
Yeah.
You think greatness is everything that you do. No,
Yeah.
greatness is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everything. It's in everything. So, like, the ego is your perception of yourself and not having that in check and letting people, the exterior, blow you up
Yeah.
is really your enemy, and it stunts your growth because a guy a couple of weeks ago said to me, oh, I really appreciate that you judged for us. And I said, well, it wasn't a favor. You shouldn't be thanking me. It's just the decision I had at that moment, what I felt at that time. And he said, well, for a couple of years, like, you judged all against us. And I was like, well, I said, I'll break it to you nicely, but you weren't all that.
Yeah.
And his face kind of changed.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't being malicious or anything, I was just being honest.
Yeah, being honest, yeah.
Because I know that it would have helped him more.
Yeah.
And I said, you weren't that great, and the guys you're surrounding with yourself with weren't that great either. And I said, and it's not just you, everybody thinks that they're great. And then you look at yourself a week later and you're like, fuck, it was shit. Or that wasn't what I thought it was.
For real.
So you got to have some sort of perspective.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important
to say, to humble yourself by looking at yourself and your footage and being like, damn, that was actually whack.
Whack, or always having.
Just
I always have a
bar.
I always have something that's unreachable.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big part of longevity, is having something that is unreachable, unknown to me. What will my style look like in 20 years, in 15 years, in 30 years?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm going to be another person.
Yeah.
That's exciting. That's unreachable. What will I achieve in that time? Why is there a ceiling, But when you're younger and you see older guys, or you respect older guys, and you don't see them appreciating what you did, and a lot of people get that twisted, like, that was one moment in one time that's ever going to be you. You're never the same, and you're basing your whole self-esteem on that shit.
On that moment.
On that decision. And that judge was tired.
Yeah.
He had two others next to him. You were dancing with not the best guys.
Yeah.
So you weren't honest with who you're surrounding yourself with. Or you weren't at your best and you don't want to be honest with yourself, and you're being irresponsible and blaming the judge. That's another reason I stopped competing. Because I don't care what they think. I don't care for your opinion of what I do. I care about my opinion. That's taking your power back, I don't give that power to anybody. You want to tell me how it makes you feel? Great. You want to write some shit on the internet about what I do? Great, good for you. But I don't care for it. I don't have any time for it. Even if it's a great compliment, great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But it's not going to steer me away from what I need to do, because there's a lot of work to be done, and I enjoy the work. That's the other thing. You got to enjoy the work.
Yeah.
You got.
How can people do that more?
You know what? You got to love training. I mean, you got to love practice.
It's like a love and hate relationship.
No, I understand what you're saying, because it's tough.
Yeah.
Especially when you practice by yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to be very disciplined.
Yes.
You have to have kind of some sort of schedule for yourself. You have to be responsible for yourself. You have to be very consistent. But you have to be diligent with your practice, but you have to love practice. You have to love the process of what it is you're trying to achieve. Sometimes I love practice
can you build
more
that mindset though?
by understanding that what you want to achieve comes from practice. No practice, no achievement. No aerobic base, no fitness. No getting some new moves, nothing. Working on your groove, no, you're not going to have that. Being prepared on time, buying new shoes, getting your ticket early, working out your yearly schedule. That all takes time. And that is building a habit.
Yes.
It's building a habit of going this and that, and you fall off sometimes. Even I do. I go, fuck, man, how can I not do that? I've been doing that for like 20 years. How can I have forgotten to do this before I get there? How could I have forgotten to not pack my bag this way. I've already built that habit, and then I let it go. But that's what keeps it exciting, you know.
Right.
You got to enjoy that stuff. Like I enjoy ironing the clothes. I enjoy getting ready. I enjoy all of it,
Yeah.
and I enjoy all the events and everything we've talked about. You know, that we're being critical and how can we improve it and everything else, because I love it, man.
Yeah.
You know? I love it.
As simple as
Yeah.
that, man.
I love it. I
Yeah.
mean, why else would you be doing it? I mean, you could think of 2,000 reasons, but if you don't
Right.
really love it
Right.
and you don't vibrate with it, it doesn't get you to another level, or what you think is another level. We might be just staying at the same level all the time. Who knows how it works?
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it really is a battle. You know what the battle is, man? The battle is a fight with yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And fighters always talk about it too.
Yeah.
But there's just so much mental stuff going on,
So much of it.
you know, and the preparation is so mental.
I was actually gonna say this before too. Literally, what you said, just reiterating it, is like freestyle's so much about mentality, man, and your approach to the freestyle.
It's all about approach, because your approach is your philosophy.
Yeah.
Your
And
philosophy.
that's unique to you, which creates your
Is your
character,
thinking.
your fucking style,
Exactly.
everything.
Exactly. So when people ask about moves and that, they just talking about superficial shit, you know. So we're judging on execution. We're judging on this. That's some shit they tell you to tell you that the judges are not bums and being lazy, you know. But most judges will judge on how they feel, you know.
Yeah.
Were you feeling that? Did you feel they were on? Sometimes they can't even explain it.
Right.
They were just onto it. It was their day.
Yeah.
That's God speaking, man.
Yeah.
How can you chuck out all the technical stuff, all the
Yeah.
history, all the name, all
Yeah.
the fashion? How can you chuck all that shit out that's
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
and just say it was their day? That's God, man. Like that's
Right.
illumination. That's how it is sometimes, and you just
Yeah.
gotta accept it.
Accept that. Yeah,
But I
for
always
sure.
going, no, that's the ego. That's the opposite.
Yeah.
That's your mind.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
gotta know when to let it. But the battle really is. That's why the battle, you know, the context of hip hop for me is the go off, the battle, and some sort of lineage to hip hop culture or to the style of music. You know, they're the three contexts of hip hop.
Yeah.
Anything else is not hip hop.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
and it has to have an element of freestyle.
Oh,
It's
it
not
has.
freestyle. It's not a battle. It's not in context with hip hop.
Mm.
And if you're just dancing to some random shit that doesn't have a break or a boom bap beat or some rapping or some scratching or some sampling,
Yeah.
to me it's not hip hop. It could be amazing
Yeah.
because
for
I
sure.
listen to everything,
Yeah.
but it's just not.
So would you say that, like, you know, like if you're looking at Europe, a lot of them have all styles music. Would you say that that is hip hop or not? To you?
No.
Yeah. But
Because-
they still say that it's like freestyle hip hop. Like they're doing freestyle hip hop to that shit.
In terms of what, like the Seven to Smokes or that the dance your style stuff. That's
Yes. Or like, nah, I wouldn't say dance your style. Like, have you heard, like Just a Boo?
Just a Boo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a Boo never said it was hip hop, because
Okay.
Just a Boo means on top.
Yeah, but I'm talking like, I wouldn't say like the event itself.
Mm.
I'm just talking about the music that they play.
Well, I think Just a Boo were always correct with it. I mean,
Yeah,
that was
okay.
one of the biggest events that just was so correct and took it to the masses.
Mm.
The locking category was always, they never had an all styles thing, from my knowledge.
Okay.
They always had
Okay.
a popping, locking, house dance. I don't even know if whacking was in it. Then they
I'm not
introduced breaking. Then they introduced top rocking. You know, in the later years.
Yeah.
But it was on top. Like that was one of the dopest, competitions, events, authentic events. I think, I watched that to death.
Yeah.
Especially the early ones. Just the judges' showcases alone were incredible.
Maybe it is more so like the.
But in terms of all styles, yeah, I mean,
Like,
some
you
of
know,
the some of
yeah.
the stuff, it's trying to create a new style of dance by having all the styles of dance and calling it street dance.
Yeah.
So it has to have all these different styles of music because it has to cater to everybody. But unless those styles have breaking in them, it's not hip hop. If we're really gonna break it down,
Right.
pun intended, it has to have breaking.
True.
So if it has new style or what they call freestyle hip hop or on top hip hop, I wouldn't even say that is the first generation of it, because they're not listening to breaks,
Right.
and the break is the backbone of hip hop culture.
Yeah.
Sure, they're listening to rap music,
Yeah.
but sometimes they're listening to some other shit.
Yeah.
Some other shit that I wouldn't even be able to.
Get
I
down
wouldn't
to.
say no. I wouldn't say that is.
Ah, okay. It's not actually-
Sometimes people get what rap is confused with what we have now, like the 808 beat,
Yeah.
the trap, the drill, this stuff. To me, that stuff is not part of hip hop because it doesn't have those elements. It doesn't have
Right.
the cadence. It doesn't have the wordplay,
Yeah.
the metaphors,
Yeah.
the context.
Right.
It doesn't have scratching. It doesn't have sampling. It has nothing to do with it.
True.
So it's something else.
It's
to me.
something else. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it's.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
You like it or you don't like it. Some
Yeah.
of the stuff I can listen to. Some of it I can't stand. I wouldn't spend 1 second listening to it. Not because I'm into hip hop or whatever, but yeah, because I'm into hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So it has to have some sort of. It's all about quality, man. It has to have quality. It needs to be groundbreaking. It has to have a hint of genius in there, It has to have some evolution in there. It has, and that stuff's happening. But I mean, the industry is so big with rap, with DJing, with all that type of stuff, with the Olympics. They've come and
Yeah.
infiltrated everything, and we'll see how that little donkey goes. We'll see how it works out, because people are going to be shocked at how the protocol is and how the Olympics actually runs. And yes, everybody wants opportunities and da 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 da. But if you don't stand for anything, you fall for anything.
There's actually a
Like,
Instagram page called Crump for the Crump for
oh,
Olympics.
whoa,
Yeah, bro. Like they've already started
wow.
creating a movement around.
It's crazy
Crump
because
being for the Olympics.
I would say crumping would be the last one that they would touch, because it's so new,
Yeah.
so raw.
Yeah. For sure.
How do you? Most people do not understand it.
Yeah. I think that's when it would be it'll be just so showy. Like you would have to come with your best, or best material. Like it might not even, you might just see everybody dancing very, very similar. Like they're still getting down, doing their thing.
I don't even know how you could market crumping like that.
I don't know either.
Because it doesn't have any element where, to the untrained eye. See, breaking's always been. They've always taken the athletic aspect of it. So they've always taken the gymnastics that was put into it.
Yeah.
That the b-boys like German track too, they were gymnasts, so they put this stuff into their breaking, the pommel flares and the Thomas flares. Then the windmill came about. All of this stuff that can be marketed, and it's always been raped and pillaged till the cows come home. little commercial here and there selling products.
Yeah.
But how are you going to sell locking, you know?
Yeah.
How are you going to sell whacking? Like, how are you going to... I don't know how you would sell that. I mean, they will find a way. I mean, if you say
I think it's just
they're going to
it
do
just
crumping
hasn't
for the
come about
Olympics,
yet. I think
Like-
it hasn't come about yet.
but it's crazy.
Time will tell.
It's crazy. The way I see all of that type of stuff is that this whole World Dance Federation thing, they got axed, as a lot of sports that were out there that got axed, and then they wanted a new little cash cow, and that's how they
Are you
came
talking about
about.
World of Dance? Is that what you're talking
No. That's
Okay.
another thing. This is
Okay.
World Dance Sport
World Dance.
Federation,
about? Right.
which is like ballroom dancing.
Ah, okay.
They got piffed,
Oh,
and I
did
think they wanted to make their way back in.
Oh.
So as
Why?
that- because of funding and because of this
Right,
and because
okay.
of that, it's a huge
Yeah.
cash cow. Assuming, anyways, but
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then they got onto the breaking. They were
Mm.
like, "Oh yeah, we'll sell this," and then the
Mm,
name,
mm.
da da da. So it might be history repeating itself like it did in the '80s. You know, like it got work to the cows came home and then it died. You know. It was like we had to rebuild it again. See, skateboarding is already established. It's already a multi-million-dollar industry.
Yeah.
So the Olympics doesn't affect it. They already have
Yeah.
their shoes. They already have their clothes. They already have
They
everything.
have their thing already
But
set.
we
like
have
kind of
nothing.
independent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like one of the most profitable subcultures there is. You know, because skateboarding is never a sport to me, and it really irks me when people call it a sport.
Mm.
They call themselves athletes. I'm like, that's one aspect of what we do. You know, there's 3 pillars to the b-boy, and this might apply to crump
Yeah.
as well. Any dancer actually, probably, I don't know. The body of an athlete,
Mm.
the spirit of a warrior, the
Mm.
heart of a warrior,
Mm-hmm.
and the mind of an artist. You know.
I like that. You should put that on the shirt, man.
I should. That's. I mean, I've got a workshop based on it, but I should probably get it tattooed on my forehead, on my face. That's popular right now.
Yeah.
So you're only taking the athletic
that.
body,
Yeah.
the warrior, the independent thinking. You know, the nitty gritty. This that has already been taken out of the equation,
Right.
and the artistry. Well, you're not being judged on that.
Mm.
You can say, "Oh, it's original," but really, most people are just judging the spins. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how are you going to judge, like, how hard as someone hits the floor, or you know, what you guys do?
Mm.
How are you going to do that?
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
That's a long shot, I think. But
Yeah.
the Olympics was a long shot for breaking, and here we are. You know,
Yeah. No
like
shit.
whatever. But none of that worries me because this thing is beyond the Olympics, and it's more important and more valuable than any of that stuff.
Mm.
People who want to do that are always going to be inclined to that. They were always part of that, and their whole
Yeah.
mission was to be like that. I'm not
Yeah.
like that, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Do I knock them? No, that's fine. Just be you. You know, everyone has a choice.
Yeah. I'll smoke you in the session.
Not even those people are not available. They don't. They
Yeah,
don't
true.
do that.
They're not even.
They never
for
put it
that.
on the line. They never
Yeah.
grew up like that. So that's just the way it goes. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't even get to have a time with that. You won't even be given the opportunity. They'll never give it
They
to you.
probably wouldn't even mind anyway.
No, they won't. It's like petrified, you know, like mice, like scattering, you know, leaving the sheep, like.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Like, I think there's a lot of people that are very unaware in the street dancing, and then there's a select few that are very mindful and self-aware and create perspective around why they're actually in it, what they're learning from being in the practice and being in the culture as well. But they don't really talk about it.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, man. Because I'm one of those people, and that's why we're doing this.
Well, it's all about your voice, you know,
Yes.
and it's all about, really it comes down to self-love, you know, and self-worth, and whether you think that what you are saying is valuable, you know, and what you're giving the world is valuable, and that you matter, you know. That's the whole point of
True.
this thing that we're involved in. That's what it teaches you.
True.
It teaches you to pull the trigger. That's what breaking is. Are you scared to do it? Okay, maybe you should face it and just go off. Yeah, just go off. The act of breaking is you finding your voice and finding your place in the world. That's what it is. For years, I'd never said anything because I didn't think I had a voice and my voice mattered. But then when I started doing things and really asserting myself and really saying, like you said, I'm going to put this podcast together and I think this is valuable, then I started to see kind of the reflection start coming back to me. And things just changed almost overnight. But it was a long process. People were asking me for advice, and people, and I saw them in me when I started, you know. When I started, that's what I was doing. I was seeking answers and seeking questions and all that type of stuff, you know. But unless you feel that you have something, no one else is going to believe it, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
No one else is ever going to believe your credibility. And a lot of people make their names from just trying, you know. That's, I mean, that's the only choice you have.
For sure. That is literally the only choice that you have.
Yeah, you make yourself.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between making yourself and bullshitting yourself. You know, thinking like.
Well, I think that's in the work, right? Like
well, yeah.
Not walking the talk, or walking it.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. It's actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
That's why at the beginning you just shut up and just do your work.
Yeah.
Then your work reflects and people become interested in that. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. You got to know your lane and build your own road. You can't be working somebody else's road and then thinking you're a game changer. That's not how it works. You can't be looking at being popular and then be down with all the underground cats, because they don't respect that shit. They respect people like them.
Right.
So it's just the way it is. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You might reach 2 people, and that's fine. But how powerful is it that you had the opportunity to reach 2 people?
Yeah.
So it's not about building an empire and building a community and building this. People will, if you have something worthy, they will follow you. And don't get it twisted and upset when they don't follow you anymore, because that's their journey. That's part of learning.
Yeah, for sure. Phases.
What are you, the Messiah? Like the prophet? You're not. No one is. Just do your work, be happy, and that's it. You know? That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so to close it off, if you what is some advice that you can offer to people that are coming into hip hop? I feel like you've said a lot of it, but yeah, like to sum it all up. Yeah.
Last audience.
Yeah.
Okay. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because your early years are going to be the one you're going to reminisce over. So all the shit that you're complaining about now, and then you had to pay this, and that this went wrong, and this flight was missing, and you missed the event, and you got injured, they're the things you're going to be laughing about. You know, perspective is so powerful.
For sure.
So just enjoy what you're doing. Be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself. Surround yourself with people that are going to make you better, but also remember to spend some time alone. How are you supposed to know yourself if you don't spend time alone? If every time you're spending all of your energy and all of your time listening to other people's ideas and thinking about other people, turn your phone off. Turn your phone off and go without the phone and go without Instagram and TikTok and everything other than all the other shit we got going on. Because then you're gonna really find out what makes you tick, what you don't like, you know, what you want to achieve, all this other type of stuff.
You gain clarity,
Yeah,
basically.
gain clarity, take care of your body,
Mm.
you know, be interested in the body because that's basically your instrument. So take care of it, get involved in it, become interested in it.
Mm.
You can't just dance and always think you're going to be in shape just by dancing. You got to take care of your body in another way in order to to complement your dancing.
Yeah.
Travel, ask questions, and leave your ego at the door. And put your money where your mouth is. Like, you're not going to become this, if you're not traveling, if you're not spending money on workshops, if you're not sacrificing anything, then you're just going to be what, maybe you're just going to be local, and that's fine. That's whatever. Teach, definitely try and get into some form of teaching.
Yeah.
Fun, just have fun and have good times with people and just try and be a nice person, and don't forget to just don't be scared to tell the truth. Don't be scared to be courageous, and don't be scared to get in that circle, because that's when you're going to learn the most.
Yes. Big ups.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, bro. That was fire. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace out. See you on the next one.